The holidays are here, and that means craziness, total chaos for most affiliate managers. There are promos flying everywhere, inboxes are packed, and your affiliates, well, half of them are over promoting, and the other half have gone completely silent. So, how do you stay sane and stay strategic when the whole season is moving at lightning speed? Well, today I'm sharing the practical guide to not just surviving December, but actually thriving as an affiliate manager during the busiest season of the year. If you're ready to take your affiliate program and your business to the next level, well, you're in the right place. I'm Matt McWilliams, best-selling author and four-time affiliate manager of the year, and I've built dozens of affiliate programs from the ground up to over $1 million a month. I'm here to show you how you can do it too. Let's get started. So let's be honest, this time of year, it can be insanely chaotic. Personally, it can be crazy. I know for us, it's a busy time we've got one, two, three. Our daughter has 4 futsal tournaments over the next 5 weeks. She's got league soccer games. I think she's got like a few of those. We got to prepare for her team going to Arizona. We've got the holiday shopping. We've got Thanksgiving. We're hosting Christmas Day. We host New Year's Eve. We've got all these things. We've got Christmas parties to go to, meals to make, desserts to make. We got to drive down here, drive down there, cross the state, over state lines, like all these crazy things. And so just personally, it's insanely busy. So it feels chaotic even without the business side of things. But for a lot of us, between Thanksgiving and New Year's, a lot of companies are doing, 50% or more of their sales in like a 5-6 week period. And if you're an affiliate manager, you feel every single bit of that, right? You're juggling deadlines. You're getting, assets ready for your affiliates. Your answer, every email is urgent, right? Every message is urgent. Links don't work. They're trying to squeeze in one more follow-up email before midnight. It's just crazy. Like so much is going on. And so it ends up being a lot of early mornings, late nights, working 7 days a week, 57 to-dos, and you've got your list just keeps getting longer. And we, like most of the year, when I'm running affiliate programs, like outside of holidays, most of the year, my list gets shorter. I have 4 items at the beginning of the day and I complete all 4 of them. And then, I add 3 or 4 more for the next day, but that's it. It feels like I start every day this time of year with 15 to-dos and I end the day with 18. I always end with more and I never finish all 15. So I've been there. I am there, been there, done that. And, it's got the t-shirt, right? And that's exactly why I wanted to create this episode, to help you not just survive the holiday madness, but actually to thrive in it. Because this season could be a huge opportunity as well. Everything comes down to numbers. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but the great thing about 50% of your sales, let's just say, for example, coming in a 6-week period is, if you do the math on that, that's 42 days, but let's just call it 50 days, 50% of your sales in 50 days. That means if you do little things that bump up sales 10%, that actually is 5% of your annual sales that you can increase. And so every little thing has a big impact. Affiliates are hungry to promote the right offers. Customers are actively looking to buy. The barrier to buying becomes shorter, especially as you get closer and closer to shipping deadlines, December 20th, 18th, 21st, somewhere in there. People begin to make quicker decisions. And if you can show up with a solid plan, some good creative, a little bit of energy, this might be your best quarter, might even be your best month of the year. So today I'm going to walk you through, got about 15 or 16 of the most important things that you can do to stay ahead of the chaos, make the most of your affiliate program this holiday season. So let's get into it. All right, number 1, start earlier than you think you need to. This episode is going to air sometime in very early December. You should have already started. If you haven't, start now. Start today. That's the biggest mistake I see affiliate managers make during the holiday season, is just starting too late. Everyone's inbox is more packed. Everyone's bandwidth is a little bit lower. They're doing other stuff, like I talked about earlier, outside of outside of business, or just a little bit more on their plates. Their energy's already a little stretched. And if you're waiting to mid-December to push out copy and reminders, you are already behind. You have got to account for slower replies. You've got to account for delayed content approvals if you have to go through your legal department. You got to account for the fact that your affiliates have their own promos going on too. So the earlier you get on their radar, the more likely that they're going to carve out space up for your promo on their calendar. So, if you could go back in time, what's the old saying? The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The best time to have started was November 1st. The second best time is right now when you're listening to it today. And if you're late to the party, it's okay. Again, today. So start earlier than it feels comfortable. And you're going to have a major edge on the competition with that. Number 2, it becomes even more important than ever. You should already be doing this, but it becomes 5, 10 times more important. I mentioned earlier when you have, when 50% of your sales come in effectively what amounts to 10% of your year. I mean, you can do the math on that, right? That means, only 50% are coming the other 45 weeks, 46 weeks of the year. Everything is 5, 10, 15, 20x'd right now. So it's very important, number 2, that you segment your affiliates by activity level. I know you know this, but not all affiliates are created equal. And during the holidays, the last thing you want to do is treat them like they are, right? So segment them by activity level. Your top performers, your mid-levels, your newbies, your inactives. You have to do that. You don't need to write 4 different emails necessarily, but you do need to speak differently to someone who's made 200 sales this year versus someone who hasn't made a single sale. You need to speak differently to people who are making a sale a week than people who are sending no traffic. And your top affiliates, they need even more advanced notice. They need those custom deals. They need some personal check-ins. Your mid-level affiliates might need some encouragement or maybe a little extra push like a bonus tier. Newer affiliates, they need onboarding. They need clarity. And then those inactives, they need a wake-up call. They need to know that this is the time of year to get active. So segmenting helps you use your time wisely. And one of the things it does is it allows you to focus on your big movers. I mean, it's simple math. If you only have 2 hours to spend at the biggest time of the year, those 2 hours should be spent on the biggest impact. And so one of the ways that you can do this, just very simple, is if you're sending out, let's say you have 500 affiliates and you're doing like I do. I don't send our emails through an email system. I send them using mail merge tools because the deliverability is higher and they feel more personal. Very simple thing that I do that I actually do throughout the year. I order them in terms of activity. So I order them in terms of sales year to date. And I update that about once a month. That means that at the very least, my top affiliates are going to get the emails first. So if I do need to send something that is urgent, like we have a flash sale and we just announced it and it goes live in 2 hours, the inactive affiliates, the lower affiliates, might not get that email until like 5 seconds before it goes live. Oh well, but at least my bigger ones are going to get it first. That's just a simple thing. There's so many more things you can do, but make sure you are segmenting your affiliates by activity level. The third thing you have to do is set crystal clear deadlines. And part of this is to use urgency and use scarcity, but make sure, of course, you're using it ethically, right? Nothing motivates action. Now, I say this so many times, nothing moves people like a deadline. And this becomes twice as true when you got the holiday pressure on people, because you have deadlines that are literally get this in time for Christmas or don't. So it goes from being a Christmas gift to a Mother's Day gift really fast. And people don't want a Mother's Day gift in December. They want the Christmas gift because they waited until the last second, right? Not that I do that. So vague language doesn't work. This week only doesn't work when attention spans are short and distractions are everywhere. So be crystal clear. This ends Friday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So build in some scarcity, but only when it's real. If you're limiting something to 100 buyers, say so. Just don't fake it. Affiliates, even more so than customers, hate being manipulated. So you want ethical urgency, ethical scarcity. That's going to build trust, of course, but it's going to also drive results. And that's what you're looking for. So be direct, be specific, always honest, and your affiliates are going to respond more frequently. They're going to do more for you. Number 4, just really put the extra effort into your assets, your swipe copy this time of year. So we're going to talk about assets in a couple of different places, but I want to talk about swipe copy. The reality is affiliates, more so than the rest of the year, are overwhelmed during the holidays. If you give them a reason to skip your promo, they will. And so if you don't provide swipe copy, or you give them swipe copy that they have to spend a lot of time on, it's just, they're not going to use it, right? So generic copy doesn't work. So pre-written, plug and play swipe copy becomes non-negotiable this time of year. You want full email sequences, you want social media captions, you want different subject lines, image suggestions. Hand it all to them. Make it easy to copy, paste, and tweak. Yes, I say all the time, Matt, don't you say don't copy and paste the swipe copy if you're an affiliate? Yes, I do, but they're going to do it. So account for that and make it easy for them. Offer different variations by audience or voice. Again, don't be generic. Don't put it in 5 attachments or buried in a Dropbox folder. Put it all in one place, formatted cleanly, ready to go. Like when you make things easy, they will promote. When you make things hard, they will not promote. It is truly that simple. I talked about it before with your big affiliates. This is why segmenting is important. With your big affiliates, use AI to create their voice. I have an AI chat. I just counted this morning because I was telling a client about this. I currently have 47 different AI chats where I have loaded more than 50 emails from this affiliate. So I have them all named. And I've, created, there's 47 right now. I'll probably have 50 by the end of the year. I'll probably have 3 or 4 more that I add. And each of these, so I'm looking at these all different. There's 47 names right now. And I can take, I can take an idea, I can take a sales page, and I can take a theme, and I can feed it to this AI chat and say, write this in the style of blank. And let's create a 3 email sequence for this person. And it is completely trained on more than 50 of their emails. I mean, some of them I have hundreds of emails in there. It just depends on how I got them. Some of them I had them send them to me, and they sent me like their entire ConvertKit kit now, export, or whatever they're using, HubSpot. They sent me their entire export since 2018. I probably have 1,500 emails in there. But at the very least, I would grab like 50 of them, and I would load them in, and I would train it on their style and their tone, and I would take like a few emails and write them, and then I would send them to them and say, how would you edit this? And then they edited it, and I reported that back to the AI and used that to train the AI. And anytime they report back to me that they made an edit, I train it more. But basically, I'm giving them copy and paste emails. And so that's really important this time of year because you want to make it really, really simple for them. So number 5, speaking of what we talked about just a moment ago with crystal clear deadlines, urgency, scarcity, use bonuses. They are not just for customers. They are for affiliates too. So if you want them to choose your offer over the 15 other offers in their inbox, you need to give them a compelling reason. So, cash bonuses for hitting a certain tier, commission bump, early payment. That's a big one we use this time of year. That, hey, if let's say that they typically earn $10,000 a month. I will literally tell them, like, if they normally earn $10,000 a month, and I look at their past data and I see that typically they earn $10,000 in commissions by December 23rd. I'll tell them, hey, if you hit 10,000 in commissions by December 15th, we'll send it to you on the 16th. That's an easy thing for us to do. I mean, for one thing, we get the expense in this year, and so from a taxes standpoint, it's great. Any kind of physical gift or thank you, like anything you can do to make it fun, make it feel like a no-brainer for them. And so, yeah, like the $10,000 we'll pay on December 15th, that's relevant because they're spending money on Christmas gifts. And it doesn't have to be 10,000, it could be 1,000, it could be whatever. Makes it a little bit easier for them to go, well, okay, I could promote A, product A, and I can make $2,000 this month, and I get paid in, February or middle of January or whatever. Or I could promote B, I could promote Matt's company, and if I hit 2,000 by December 17th, they're going to go ahead and give me the 2,000. That'd be really handy. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to promote that. And so we want to make it really easy for them to decide on this. And of course, bonus, they should be adding bonuses to their offers as well. We've talked about that a million times, but you want to make it easy for your affiliates to decide to promote you. Speaking of making it easy to promote you, number 6 is just make sure to simplify your offer. I was writing some copy for a client this morning, and we were talking about how during the exact line was, during the holidays, cognitive load is high. People don't want to think harder than they have to. That was the actual line that I wrote. It's a supplement in the brain health industry. And it's true, like cognitive load, we talked about earlier, your brain is moving faster and it's a little bit overwhelmed. You're probably getting just a little bit less sleep and things are like, it's different, right? And so if your offer is confusing, if it's clunky, they're just going to skip it. So keep it simple. One promo, one main link, one core benefits. Affiliates, more than anything, what they need is clarity, not complexity. Same goes for customers. So, of course, if your offer takes forever to explain, it's DOA, right? It's totally dead on arrival. Just strip it down, tighten it up. And so we want to put your affiliates in position where they can easily communicate, this is why this matters right now, to their audience in a single sentence, maybe 2. So make it easy to explain to customers. That's going to make it easy to explain to affiliates. And the same goes for those bonuses. Make it simple. Don't have like 4 layers to it, 5 layers, different tiers, just like very simple. Earn $1,000 by December 15th and we'll send it to you on the 16th. There's your offer. There's your bonus. Make $2,000 in sales before the shipping deadline of December 21st and we will send you a MacBook. That'd probably be a little bit bad for a $2,000 in sale. Make $6,000 in sales. We'll send you, I don't know, something like that, right? Make it simple. 7, speaking of making it simple and all the things we talked about, this only happens if you over communicate, but keep it short. Over communicate does not mean a weekly email that's 7.5 paragraphs long. Over communicate does not mean a weekly novel. Over communicate does not mean sending out an email every couple of weeks that has 5, 6, 7, 8 bullet points. It's chaos. Again, as we mentioned, you want to rise above the noise. So don't think essays, think just clear, quick updates. More frequently than you might during the rest of the year. You might only send 1 email a week to your affiliates the rest of the year. Let's send 3 a week, but make them 3 to 5 sentences. Or send daily reminders during key sales windows. Send quick leaderboard updates. Some like, hey, just, here's an email, use this. Over communicate in a way that respects their time and makes their job easier. You can't assume that they remember the key dates. You can't assume that they remember their link, their promo code, the deadlines, when shipping is for, when free shipping ends, when expedited shipping ends, when guaranteed shipping by Christmas ends. Like, you want to remind them over and over again, but very quickly. So I typically, my emails, my rule, I don't have a number of sentences necessarily, but my rule is absolutely no more than 2 screens on my phone. It's a pretty short email. 2 screens on my phone, and that includes my signature. So that takes up like about a fifth of the screen. So I've got 1.8 screens on my phone for this email. That's my general rule. And I'll send myself a test. And if it's a little bit longer than that, I take it to the chopping block. I don't include if it's got like swipe copy, at the bottom of the email that they can just copy and paste. That's always going to be longer. But as far as the updates, 1.8 screens on my phone, whatever I have. It's black. I have a black phone. It's an iPhone. I don't even know what number it is. Whatever the one that came out this year is. Anyway, number 8, set up automated reminders. Okay. So as much as possible with, things like Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I'll be honest, I don't want to get up at 5:30 in the morning on Cyber Monday, but I do want an email to go out then, so I schedule it. I don't want to send an email on Thanksgiving, so I schedule it. Don't rely on memory either. Make sure you set reminders for everything that needs to be done in advance as much as possible. Yes, can you innovate? Can you come up with something on December 14th? Of course. But as much as possible, plan these things out. Like, this is the day that I'm going to do this. As much as possible, still batch. Like, don't be writing emails on the fly, more than once or twice. Like, occasionally you just have to. But if you're doing it, even with the stuff that, like, if you're doing it because something came up, that's great. But if you're doing it because you just didn't plan far enough in advance, that's bad. So if you send out 20 emails during the holidays and all 20 of them are rushed and sent out quickly, that's a problem. If one or two of them are, that's not a problem. So again, automate the repetitive stuff. Automate the things that you can send out in advance. If you know all the details of your Black Friday sale, go ahead and send it out. Like, don't wait. And schedule some more reminders. Don't wait, just go ahead and schedule them. And so that frees up your energy so that if something does go wrong, you can react. If something, if you need to get on strategy calls with your affiliates, you can. All right, number 9, create an asset hub and give them a holiday cheat sheet, okay? Especially this time of year, affiliates do not have time to dig around. If your assets are disorganized, they're in 4 different Google folders and they're not labeled clearly and, all that stuff, they're just not going to promote. So you want a single link that has everything they need, that makes it really easy for them to find their links, their graphics, their copy, their deadlines, their bonuses, FAQs, and then go a step further and just create a holiday cheat sheet, a 1-page PDF, maybe a Google Sheet, Google Doc. It's got the top 5 to 7 things they need to know in a glance. Not what are all the dates, but what are the 3 most important dates? Typically, that's going to be the last day for shipping that's guaranteed by Christmas. That's either free or standard, however you do it. The last day for expedited shipping, and like whatever the period of time is for your biggest sale. If that's December 3rd through 8th, give them that. What are your 3, maybe 4 biggest times and dates they need to know? What are the 2 to 3, maybe 4 biggest promos that they need to know about? What are the and the promo codes with those? What are those types of things? Like where, and then on that, like, where do I get swipe copy? Where do I get graphics? Where do I get my links? Make that really, really easy for them. When you make it easy for them to find and make it easy for them to use, everything just runs smoother, and your affiliates are going to be grateful for it. Number 10, run a holiday themed, and holiday specific leaderboard, and then give them real-time leaderboard updates. Keep a real-time leaderboard running. We all know this, that a little friendly competition goes a long way, especially when, the rewards are good and the updates are frequent, right? So adding a little holiday leaderboard, like, most sales before the shipping deadline, or most sales of this promo that runs December 5th through 10th, all those things, celebrate people, make it a holiday theme, make it green and red, or, similar colors, make it festive, celebrate, things like that, like have Santa do things, and whatnot, just like all these things, right? I remember years ago, we had an affiliate, gosh, this was like 2000, this is right when, this might have been like 2009, maybe 10. It was like the second YouTube video I ever uploaded. So it might have even been like 2008. And we had an affiliate that, we were doing a holiday promo and did really well. And so we had a guy dress up as Santa and deliver a huge check. This particular affiliate earned a $10,000 bonus for winning this competition. And it wasn't practical for us at that time to go there. I mean, it would have taken, a day out and a day back. And there was no, airplane Wi-Fi. It was too busy for us to go. But we did pay a guy from like a local flower shop or something, who knew his way around town and could do stuff like that, had a Santa suit. We paid him like $200 to deliver this giant check for $10,000 to this affiliate. And we had him recorded, and it was a really cool thing, So do things like that. Make it fun and exciting for your affiliates. Number 11, do what Santa would do. Check your tech twice. The more traffic, the more risk. The more sales, the more risk. The more traffic and sales, the more likely it is that something is going to go wrong. And you multiply that by the fact that, an hour of downtime in June might cost you $5,000. An hour of downtime in December might cost you $25,000, $50,000, $100,000. So we're talking bigger numbers. And if your tech isn't ready, it can fall apart quickly. So double check everything. It goes back again to planning ahead as much as possible. If you can get 80 to 90% of everything planned ahead and test it, it leaves you that, okay, I've only got an hour to test this out. So here's the 2 things I'm going to focus on because I've tested the other 5. And so check your affiliate tracking, check your landing pages, your promo, make sure the promo codes work. If it says 25% off site-wide and then it doesn't work on a certain item, why? Check all of your integrations. Make sure everything works on mobile and all of these things, right? The reality is like a broken link or something going wrong on December 18th. If December 19th is the shipping deadline, it's a missed opportunity you're probably not going to get back. So do the testing, don't just assume that, it worked last time. No, check it twice, maybe 3 times, just like Santa. All right, number 12, make sure this doesn't have to do exactly with affiliate, but make sure your customer service team is ready. Okay, so if you're just an affiliate manager at a company and, somebody else is going to do that, that's fine. You don't necessarily need to participate in that. But, holiday buyers have higher expectations. They usually have more urgent questions. They're in a rush and they need to know how to handle these situations, what promos are running, what codes are valid, what bonuses to expect, how to avoid refund requests, all these things. So, this obviously this helps affiliates because if your customer service is smooth, then it helps their credibility. Their credibility stays intact, but it also makes more sales. So make sure that your support team, your customer service team is ready. Make sure that they're going to have an extra person. If you have a 2-person customer service team and they're normally pretty busy in June, they're going to be extremely busy come December. Maybe somebody else needs to be stepping in periodically and helping them out. Number 13, look at the quiet affiliates. We talked about segmenting earlier, but I want to talk about focusing on the quiet affiliates. These are the affiliates who have gone silent in the last couple of months. So maybe in March and June and August, they're doing $10,000 a month. They're doing pretty well. And then all of a sudden in September and October, early November, they've gone silent. Nothing. Just a quick email saying, hey, is everything okay? Sometimes they just forgot. Sometimes life happened. Sometimes they need encouragement. Sometimes they need clarity. Sometimes they're not getting your emails because they're going to spam. And so a 3-sentence email that's nothing but plain text with no links in it that says, hey, John, is everything okay? I haven't seen anything from you in a couple of months. I just want to check. We're getting ready to enter Christmas. It's a busy time and want to make sure you have everything you need. I cannot tell you how many times I have gotten emails that came back and said, I haven't seen any of them. So I went and looked for emails and I found them in my spam folder. I marked them as safe and now I'm getting them. So that's generally good advice, just to periodically send emails like that, but especially to those down or kind of those quiet affiliates. Number 14, make sure you're using holiday themed creative. I have talked about this so many times over the years in holiday episodes. There's a reason why I think I'd mention it every single year. Simply put, holiday themed creatives, if I remember my numbers correctly, can increase your sales by as much as 18%. We did a study on it. Sometimes it is as simply as just adding some red and green or blue and gold or, adding a snowman, something festive to it. If your creative looks like it was designed for July and it's Christmas and it's not festive, it's not timely, it doesn't feel urgent. It doesn't feel like it's a holiday special or a limited time bundle, because the copy looks like it could be, from any time of the year. And it doesn't have to scream Santa, but it should feel seasonal. And so make sure you are updating your creatives and you're providing your affiliates with holiday creatives. Number 15. The last two are more on a personal level here. Keep your energy high. Your affiliates will feel it. Your affiliates follow your lead. If you're showing up stressed, disengaged, reactive, they feel it. If you're excited, you're proactive, you're encouraging, they're going to mirror that. So keep your energy high, even when it feels like a lot. Celebrate wins, respond quickly, smile, smile, just smile. Like if you record videos, smile. Remind yourself this season only comes along once a year and that your energy is contagious. So show up for your affiliates with the right attitude and the right energy level. Part of that comes from just making sure that you prioritize rest. Now, if you are like I've been in some holiday years where I'm working 14 hours a day, 7 days a week for almost a month straight, what that meant was I had to have that conversation with my family, and they knew to expect it. There was no surprises. Hey, kiddos, I'm not going to be able to do some of the things that we normally do. Like I'm not going to be able to watch the movie for 2.5 hours because Daddy has to go to bed. I'm working till 10:30 at night, and I'm going to bed at 11, and I got to get up at 6:30. So I need to make sure that I'm getting to bed at 11 so I can get up at 6:30. I need to make sure that I'm getting, my normally I get about 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep pretty consistently. It's going to be like 7 hours and 15 minutes, but I need to make sure I get that. I can't do it. I can't do 6 hours of sleep for a month in a row. I can't. Not personally, and operate at my highest level. I can't not work out. Right? Now, like I did today, my workout was only 40 minutes long. Super intense for 40 minutes though. I can't do my hour and 15 minute workout. I can't lift weights and run. I can maybe run and then I'm going to do 50 push-ups and I'm done. Like that's my workout. So everything is modified, but I can't not work out for a month. I can't only get 6 hours of sleep for a month. I'm going to be completely useless the last 2 weeks of that 4-week stretch there. So make sure you're prioritizing your energy, your rest, because it will come through to your affiliates. And lastly, end with gratitude. Whatever happens, it might be your best holiday season ever. It might just be an okay result, whatever. End with gratitude. Thank your affiliates personally if you can. Send them an email, write a note, hop on a call, let them know you see them, you appreciate their effort. Gratitude is how you develop these relationships long term. Because what you're doing with this holiday stuff is you're setting up all of next year. You're setting up all of the next holiday season. How you react the week or two after the holidays, how you do during the holidays, but also the week or so after, is what's going to set up next year. And maybe this year it was average. Maybe it went, you only grew by 2% over last year. And that wasn't what you were trying to do. You were trying to go by 8% over last year. Okay. What you do right now at the end with that gratitude, making sure that your affiliates feel genuinely valued. When you do that, that's how next year you do hit that goal. But it starts right now, because if you don't do this, they just see it as transactional. They're not going to come back and promote next year. But when they do feel genuinely valued, like I said, they're far more likely to come back next time. So I know you're tired and you want to get back to the routine. You want to sleep 8 hours a night. You want to work out an hour, whatever. You want to do all the things that you've been doing. You want to watch the movie. But for a few days after, don't be silent. That's your opportunity to build loyalty, and you don't want to lose that chance. So finish strong and finish with gratitude. Again, you can plan this in advance too. go ahead and you can even pre-write the emails and then tweak them so that it's not so much on you mentally. But go ahead and put it in your calendar that, okay, we're going to get through Christmas. I'll take a couple days off for Christmas, as you should. But on December 27th, 8th, 9th, somewhere in there, I'm going to spend 2 days focusing on thanking our affiliates in all the ways that I know how. If it involves sending gifts, plan those gifts in advance. Don't try to figure it out on December 28th. Have those things planned in advance. It's super important that you finish with gratitude. So there you have it, 16 ways to survive the holidays as an affiliate manager, and hopefully not just survive, but like I said earlier, to thrive. So with that said, if you got any questions about this or anything else, you can hit me up anytime. Area code 260-217-4619. Shoot me a text. Area code 260-217-4619. You can shoot me a text with your questions or your comments or anything that you need help with your affiliate program. And make sure you hit subscribe because you don't want to miss the next episode. The next episode, basically we're going to be talking about the same thing, but from an affiliate perspective. How do we make this the best holiday season ever for us as affiliates? And so if you're listening to this episode as an affiliate manager and you think, well, I don't need to know that one, you absolutely do, because there's going to be some more goodies for that one just for you. Even though I'm talking to the affiliates, you're going to want to listen so you can share that information with your affiliates. So if you haven't yet hit subscribe, make sure you do, because you don't want to miss the next episode. I'll see you then. Thank you so much for listening today. If you know someone who would benefit from hearing this episode, make sure to share it with them. And if you have a question, you can ask it at asktheaffiliateguy